I spoil her with some soul trends. Good girl, no more she on my team when I hang. You hear the echoes when bass scream, living that pain life. It's alright, you feeling depressed and go outside. The weed and the season make these hard times. Worth every time you spend on no life. For the take a staycation to Santa Cruz. To a car I got drank, bring the shoe. Get a speaker for the slap, yeah. Set the mood, tell them girls.
Good afternoon and/or good evening. Welcome to Mrs. Best Reviews, thy channel. I'm Mrs. Best. We have James from Watch Your Mouth Reviews, who is here as well. He has a channel. The link is in the description. I hope that you guys are clicking the link. You can also find all of the recaps that I do with James or that I go on his channel to help him with in the playlist. It's all updated. So we're going to recap Love and Hip Hop Miami Season 5, Episode 7. Thank God. It's moving along. I'm excited because Atlanta is no more. So I'm a little bit more positive about Love and Hip Hop because Atlanta was a hot mess. If you know, you know. So this episode of Miami starts with Amara La Negra at home with her kids. And basically they're trying to show her it looks like juggling being a single mom and having babies because she does have twins. However, in the last episode, Amara, your business was supposedly suffering because of Safaree and you being together. But now you're so overwhelmed because your businesses are doing good and that it's making it difficult to be a mother to your children. I see why she said what she said in that live, talking about this is still a job. I show up, I do what they want me to do, and then I go home. It's showing. It's definitely showing. Did you notice that, James?
So I want y'all to go back to a couple of episodes of Mrs. Best's channel on Love and Hip Hop Miami. When I heard that made absolutely no sense whatsoever because Safaree has been on Love and Hip Hop way longer than Amara La Negra has. And you mean to tell me that whoever works for you, that is an upper management, told you that it's actually a bad for your image if you're connected to him? In what way? In what way? That's why I said that didn't make sense to me when she said that. I was like,
there used to be a saying when we were coming up, all press is good press.
When you promoting something, because there's always going to be some clowns with clowns. So sorry. Yes, always going to be some clowns with some clowns that is going to spend their money on your products. It is what it is. All it takes is one, and then when you get one, you get 50. That's just how it is. So that's why I said when she said that, I was like, you is a fool if you believe that.
Listen, I said it, and I've said it continuously. I think Amara needs to leave Love and Hip Hop. I think it's time. If you exposing that you're just doing your job, and this is all you have to see season after season, you acting like an idiot over some dick. Then the dick shows you what it was to be, which you already knew, but you ignored every red flag known to man. Then you're crying on. I'd like to remind everybody that when she was on this about 2 seasons ago, before she got pregnant with those babies, right? She was with the guy, Alan, and she had gotten pregnant and she ended up having a miscarriage, which is devastating. I'm sorry to her for that to this day. However, through her miscarriage, one of the things they filmed was Amara expressing to Alan, like, you don't support me. You're not really there for me. You're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not doing things. One moment, my cat is throwing up and I'm concerned. One moment. So sorry. Apologies, everybody. I'm sorry. The kitty is sick, but my husband is going to come take care of him and all of that stuff. Anywho, so Amara basically had a miscarriage a couple seasons ago with Alan. He made it very clear that he didn't want to have children with her. He didn't want to have children at that time. He did not want to add to having kids. He also had kids. Basically, the man literally told this woman verbatim, I don't want to have your babies. I'm not interested in all of this. And she still went after having a miscarriage and crying on TV about how he was not there for her and got pregnant again by him. So Here's the thing. I feel like Love and Hip Hop, a lot of reality shows right now, I get it. Unfortunately, a lot of people are single moms, single parents, but they got to stop airing people like Amada, Erica Mena, Sierra Gates. They have to stop airing like the worst forms of single moms, because there are single moms out there that are actually working extremely hard and actually struggling and juggling way more than this lady who has childcare and the money for it can. So it's like, you guys aren't really going to relate to others when you show your single mom struggle as you have all the help in the world. It always throws me off and makes me like annoyed. So we're gonna finish with Amara's little scene. Basically, her mom asked her about Safaree. She's like, call Safaree if you miss having a spouse. Her mom says, call Safaree. And anybody who watches the show knows Amara's mom is not the person to take advice from. She's still mad at a man for something he did over 30 years ago. And she's alone in her anger. So I was always taught, don't take advice from nobody if you want your marriage to succeed. Who's alone, been divorced, has not been married.
I'm gonna say, were they married?
The person who told me that? Yes.
No. Amara's mama and the daddy. From my understanding, they were not married.
I don't think they were, but
no, from my understanding, they weren't. So that's why, because I thought that was the issue from the whole point. I really honestly thought that was the whole issue between Amara and Amara's mom and dad, is that they were not married and that he had a whole other family. I could be wrong.
That's probably it. Either way, Amara's mom, what I'm trying to say, is not the person to take relationship advice.
No, hell no.
She loves her daughter, but she also, like, she got to encourage her daughter, like, to go live her life and stop. Like, I'm sure Amara will send you some rent money.
Right. I feel like, and that's the problem with these moms who always live vicariously through their daughters and want their daughters to make the same mistakes as they did, which simultaneously they are. It just looks different this generation. But to me, I just felt like this is where you need to start going to therapy, Amara. This is where you need to start understanding your pathology, because you literally are your mama all over again. You just add an extra baby on top of it. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, I thought that when you asked about the dad just now, randomly, I was like, oh shit, she's done the exact same thing her mom did, because she did talk about that season one. Her mom knew her dad had someone and thought, there's a show on TLC called The Family Chantel that I like. It's a 90-Day Fiancé spinoff. And Pedro's mom, she was like that. She had her kids with the man that she knew was married, knew had a family, and then, look what happened. And then she cried about being a single mother. I think sometimes people end up in those situations and it's sad, but if somebody tells you that they're not trying to have a kid with you, if someone tells you they don't want to be with you, if somebody tells you and shows you they don't care that you miscarried their child, then maybe just go. Common sense. But, it's Amara La Negra. So the scene ends with her bringing up a poker night the princess is going to have. And she doesn't really want to engage with Von Shea, who is Gunplay's wife, who was going through a lot of controversy at the time of filming because of them asking for GoFundMe help for their sick kid. So we will see what happens with that later on through this recap. So the next thing we see is Miami Tip. She wrote a book. A stripper wrote a book. Good for her. I guess she wrote a book about stripping. Listen, I don't judge. I love the strip club. I enjoy strippers a lot. I have fun with them all the time. However, on vacations, not like on the daily, y'all. But however, I just want to make that clear. I'm not in the strip club every fucking day. Like, no. But, like, Tip, what are you putting in this book? Either you got the ability to bust it wide or you don't. That's how I feel. But she's writing a book about stripping. And I guess she's going to talk about her experiences probably coming up in the club. It looks like, because I know Miami Tip is still stripping, I believe. Because I had a friend who went to Miami and visited recently and said that they met her at a strip club. I was like, was she stripping or? I don't know.
I know she does a lot of hosting here from like looking on like different event coordinating pages. I do see like a lot of pamphlets with her on it. So I know she does events from here and here, but I don't know. the thing about it is I don't follow Miami Tip that much
Mm.
because I don't really care for this cast at all. So it's kind of one of the situations where
This
it's kind of
Love
one
and
of the things
Hip
where she
Hop
could fly with
class.
the wind as well. So, you know, hey, it is what it is. But I
Miami
did see a
Tip,
few.
usually I hear people say things. I'm surprised she's still on the show because I didn't know she was still a part of the show, but I guess she is. But we see her talk with Joy. I guess she's cool with Joy and Trina. And she speaks to them about the situation that happened with the rapper Zoe Brinks in the previous episode. And I'm just kind of like, Miami Tip don't really have nothing to do with that situation, but she always seems to
Yeah,
insert herself and want to give an opinion on things that have absolutely nothing to do with her. So
I agree. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, where were you again? I said, where were you again in that scene?
she's just out there being messy, spreading something that, she really don't need to spread. So then the next thing Tip moves to is Eliza Rain features Baby Mama in the newest addition to the show. And the newest BBL that's BBLing. She's basically upset when she's trying to explain her beef with Eliza Rain, and Miami Tip is just like, she left her friends, she abandoned her friends for Future. I mean, I don't know what went on with her situation with Future, but if my friend is pregnant, gets a girl or a dude, whatever the hell, whoever you date, like, you expect to hear from people less when they have they dude. Like, your friends can't do what your partner can do for you. I can't do for James what his partner can do for him. I can't do that, y'all. So, and vice versa. Like, it's just how it is. So I don't see the big deal. Sounds like Tip is like almost jealous of the fact that Eliza
it was given jealousy. But it was given like a high school jealousy. Like she always had the crush on the old boy from the football player, and she mad that her best friend was able to snag him.
It's very high school because
It
real
is. It
women,
was like,
quality women, don't want a man like Future.
hell, even ones that's missing an eye and 3 chromosomes can tell that that ain't what they want to be with. So I can honestly say you got to be out your mind to be with somebody who got 15, 11 baby mamas and a track record of like knowingly just out there. Like that cannot be thrilling or that cannot be fun. Like, come on, like let's
No,
use our
no.
brains.
I'm baby mama number 9 or 13. Like,
Yeah.
no.
What do you get out of that? That's why old girl from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta pissed me off all them times. If y'all ain't seen that, y'all need to go watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta on this channel. Do my friend a favor, and when you're done with this one, go back and watch me. And I felt bad that I did it but it just annoys me when women do this. It annoys me because we have to do better than this. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, Tip, you coming off like
Tip though. On a serious note, aside from us, like Future, obviously to women of quality, Future should not be someone you aim to date. But separate from that, like Tip, you being real messy. So your friend got with somebody who, regardless on if she had the baby for money or not, having a baby with Future is going to afford her certain benefits that others do not have, and that's fine. But Tip, you should not. You really have a beef with your friend just because of this. It doesn't make any sense. And now you're trashing her name. You're calling her kid a check baby. She brings up how her older daughter is in jail. All this like messy stuff. And I just want to point that out. Miami Tip was talking about Eliza Rain's child right to her. No racial slurs came out. That's all I'm gonna say. We'll get to that on the next little episode. That's all I'm gonna say. So all you people on the internet who are like, if you talk about my child, anything goes. Yeah, it does, but not racism. Let's have a zero tolerance for that. Let's help the world to be a better place, you guys. Right. So basically, Miami Tip says she don't like that Eliza spoke on her parenting, even though she spoke about Eliza's kid and parenting. And I'm like, listen, Tip, you can't throw stones at a glass house when you living in one too. They gonna come and throw some shit right back at you.
Right. It's like you can't be mad at the pot for being black when the kettle black too. Like, I'm sorry, you just cannot do that. Like, I'm just sorry. Like, I didn't know where she was going with this, and the fact that Joy was just taking that in the way she was and was like, It was like
Joy reminded me of me and you just sitting there. Oh,
just I
oh.
was like, see, there would have been because I would have busted out laughing when you actually put together what she was saying. Like there had to be more, but when you actually put together what she was saying, it was like, is she for real? Did you really just do this? Did you really just say this? I'm not staying here for this conversation. There's no way you even talk about this lady and her baby and
Miami
all this.
tip. If you want to be on the show, be on the show, sis. But at this point,
That
like
was in poor taste. Like I'm
I'm,
sorry,
I'm,
like all
I'm
bullshit aside,
tired.
that was yeah, that was in poor taste. Like for real, like no matter what she said about your parenting, it does not warrant. She didn't do it what we
But
could
she
see.
never, but here's the thing, Tip went and said and talked shit about Eliza and her parenting, her children, her reasons, and how she conceived her children. Tip went and publicly did this on a live.
Yeah,
So
I remember.
you cannot get mad when this girl come back at you. Miami Tip, figure it out, girl. Either you on the cast and you're gonna actually give something or you're not. Because I'm tired of her beefing and she doesn't even show in the theme song or whatever the fuck. So I'm over it. Anywho, moving it along. The next thing we get is Zoe Brinks. She has moved in with her boyfriend. Apparently, she has a boyfriend. His name is Kelvin. We did not hear anything of him at first. They mostly just gave us the drama that Zoe has with her family, explaining a little bit of her career, all those things that she's doing. Basically, we find out she's been with this man for 2 years. And I said, pause, comma, semicolon. I just need to know, why are you homeless if you've been with your man for 2 years? Because I'm gonna
That
tell
he
y'all
was
true story. I met my husband younger. He's a year or two older than me. I met him. I had nowhere to go. I was homeless, sleeping in parks, sleeping at Alameda Beach. I was literally homeless. He let me stay with him. He didn't even know me. So why, after 2 years, did it take like all of this? I'm so
it just
confused.
some bit about me just wasn't clean about that situation. Some just wasn't saturated enough for me because
Not
I was confused.
saturated.
I was confused about that too. Because I was like, wait, you were
That's weird.
homeless, living in your salon. And then you had this man who has a place. Y'all were together 2 years. So I'm gonna give you the first year. You didn't think to bring up, hey, let's get a place together. Or you know what, look, I'm going through financial difficulties. Can I stay with you? You know, you've been my man for a year. I'm pretty sure he didn't got
Listen,
all up in you and everything.
the way
Because
that
he
Zoe's siblings was just as upset as the mom leads me to believe that it's
it's
probably
about that man.
there's more to this story. It probably has to do with that boy. And she don't want to expose that because one thing girls say, because I've done it for my dude, even when I shouldn't have. What they say, I'm going to stick beside him. Listen, I'm glad they
I don't
found.
even think it's that. I think it's something I don't know because looking at him, he was blank in the face and just just
I
there.
mean,
But to me, when I look at a dude like that,
he did give good advice to her.
I,
James is like,
because here's the thing, that's something that I've always heard.
mm,
So I can't really say. I mean, it is good advice. I'm not going to take it away from it. It was good advice, but I felt like it was easy to give that advice. You know what I'm saying? It was an easy thing to say because it's obvious. Like
yeah,
it
yeah.
was obvious, but I don't know. I kind of wanted him to be a little bit more like, okay, what are you actually doing with your life?
I
Versus,
see what you're saying. You want him
yeah, versus like
there
the way
should
he
like
said it.
get at you, but in a constructive.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's who I want to hear that from. Is the person that I'm with. Yes, you can give me advice. Yes, you can do, but I'm in this space with you and I've been with you for 2 years. Why are you just now giving all this advice and correction when you could have did it within the first 6 months of a relationship and maybe we could have elevated more? You get what I'm saying? Like if I didn't know, because I'm not saying she's ignorant, y'all. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is that if there is things that I am lacking that you are seeing and it could have elevated me, why not do an inspiration of like, okay, look, this ain't working. And I'm gonna show you how. A, B, C, D. I see you do this. Come on, you know that ain't right. Like I guess that's what I really want all men to do, not just him, but all men to do. If you see she is lacking in just pure like common intelligence, then you need to speak and say that,
He lacks
and she has
social
to trust you.
skills
She
heavily.
does. She does. And
Heavily.
I feel like that was another thing that he could have expanded more on is that her social engineering skills when it comes to especially other women. The way she walked up on those women and was calling them the popular bitter Betty, whatever the fuck she said. I forgot. But the fact that she said that, and it was like, first of all, hi, my name is Zoe. Nice to meet you. Oh my God, it was a pleasure. I've been a big fan for years. Even if you didn't mean the shit, it's about having decorum. And she lacks that.
So we see what James, for those who are unsure, is talking about when Zoe tells her boyfriend Kelvin about her situation with Joy and Trina, where she acted like a wild animal. Her boyfriend basically told her she should still see if she can get onto the song. He said, when they go low, you should go high. He was actually reasonable. Zoe's response to everything her man said was, I ain't kissing nobody's ass to make it. She reminds me of a person from our high school who I was very, very close with. Very, very close with. And this girl is smart as hell. I believe in her. I do. But her decorum, her social skills, they are a hot mess. She's emotionally immature. Zoe gives me that because, listen, it's very difficult for you to think getting into the music industry in any realm, whether you're an artist, a producer, A&R, doesn't matter. You'd be foolish to think that you're going to get into the music industry and not have to smile and hold your tongue. You don't have to kiss ass, but you got to know when to shut the fuck up. You got to hold your tongue sometimes. And oftentimes it's kind of like when you're at work. If the big boss comes in, for those working at retail, the district manager, whatever they call it, they come in, everyone's going to be on their best behavior, in full uniform, doing things correctly. Trina, in this situation for you, Zoe, she's the DM. She's the big boss. So though Joy may have been a problem, you know, you
And
have
that's still to be
understand.
determined because I don't know. I don't know about that.
You have to, the way she approached them was wrong. So it's like in the workspace, you can have a point, but it's how you express that point. They're not
Yeah,
going
and
to
that's why I said I felt like Joy, even though she didn't have to go there too, I felt like it's to me, I'm gonna let somebody fall on their own sword. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna do it because the problem is you'll never learn if you don't. So no, I'm gonna let you fall on your own sword. I'm just gonna sit there. I'm gonna nod my head. I may even give you a smile or two.
Y'all, when we get merch, we need to get Watch About the Views, all his little wise sayings. We need to put that on the shirt. We do. I'm gonna let your ass follow your own sword.
I am. That's what I've always been that way. Like I've always said, you're gonna fall on your own sword, and I'm just gonna watch you because you'll never learn. You'll never learn. So,
but that's pretty much all we got from Zoe Brinks for this portion. I know.
I was gonna say. I was like, wait.
I'm going in the order of what happened.
Oh, okay. I got you.
That's just how I take my notes. I have no clue why, because when I do my Love After Lockup recap, so Saturday, I always just group people together. Huh?
I would. I said some of this shit you could just skip. So
listen, I didn't take notes on everything. I'll tell you that.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I don't have time. Because
there's about 2 scenes in this whole episode. I was like,
James is calling it. We have the same brain. I'm telling you, because there were like 2 to 3 scenes that I just did not.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, y'all, in my opinion, half of it's scripted, half of it's reality. So I'll recap the reality and leave it there. So the next thing we see is Trina and Super Cindy meet. Super Cindy is the lady who is trying to mentor Zoe Brinks. She's the one who wanted to introduce Zoe Brinks originally to Trina. She's also well known in the Miami metropolitan area.
She's on like 99.1 or some shit.
I don't know what that is. We have 106.1 and 102.9.
She has some good topics in the morning sometimes. If anybody is interested in her, I'm not trying to promote her channel. She ain't paying me. But I do listen to her from time to time on the way to work. And for the most part, she's very...
Oh, I support any female in the industry. So you go.
I do too. She's very honest about, her life and everything and what she's gone through, relationships. She has good topics. She's not bad. Like, she's not like Tam or Cherie over there on the Bell collectives that,
Hot
every
mess.
time I look at her,
Who's
just like,
listening to her
oh,
on the radio? I
I don't know how
don't.
people do it. I don't know how
Oh, well,
people do
shout
it.
out to Tambra. While we're on the topic, Bell Collective, it comes on the OWN network and it is recapped on James's channel. They're on
Unfortunately.
oh my gosh. Be
Unfortunately, but
positive, God damn it.
you know what? But I'm gonna speak of it because it is my highest viewed
You get
review
hella
recap.
views on Bell
It's
Collective.
my highest, and when I tell you the Bell Collective fans are the most interactive fans on my channel, I'm
Y'all,
just
he'll
like,
have
who would have
50
thought?
views
Because
and like 15 comments. I go, look, I said, let me not piss off these Bell fans. They
okay,
don't play.
because they love their cast. I'm like, okay, look, I'm gonna have to do a disclaimer or two when I get on my channel, so y'all don't want to miss that. I promise you, because I'm gonna go the hell off on one or two people that try to check me about somebody who I know ain't shit. Anyways, go ahead.
I'm dying right now. I'm trying not to laugh. But Trina is super sending me up. Make sure to tune in to Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. The link is in the description, you guys. Basically, Trina explains what happened with her and Zoe Briggs. I'm trying not to laugh at James, and you just gave me several chuckles. I'll be trying to be professional, but you're still
Yes,
my friend, and you just make me
yes, because
laugh.
it's okay. We got it. Super Cindy and Trina.
Super exactly. They're basically Trina's explaining her part of the Zoe Briggs problem. And here's the thing: Trina explains the situation accurately, but she doesn't take accountability for what happened earlier in these episodes where she was originally rude. Had Trina been respectful and honest with her time and her schedule, then yes, she would have waited a little longer for her to meet Zoe, but she might have been in a better mood because Trina, even though she, in my opinion, can be unprofessional, does have attitudes and unhealthily pushes people away. Professionally, she's known for doing a lot with artists who are newer and helping them to come up and be a beacon in their the beginning of their careers, which a lot of well-known artists do not do. They don't do that. So Trina does a lot of good, but she was rude in that instance. So she didn't own up to that, but she did accurately depict what happened between her and Zoe. Basically, the conversation is with Trina saying she does not know if she wants to work with Zoe, and Super Cindy's going to have to explain that. Did you have anything you wanted to comment on that conversation with Trina?
No,
It was pretty to the point.
it's to the point. Yeah, I don't have anything to say.
The next scene we get is Florence L. Luce, Flo. I'm so tired of this Haitian lady. I really am. I love Haitian culture too, and the food. I do love the food. But what is going on with this Flo woman? I just don't know. So we see her and her tribe of children that she has with Marlon. And the oldest boy, he looks just like his daddy. Flo's son looks like Marlon with hair. They are the same person. So her kids and her are doing a TikTok, and she asks the kids how they feel about things because they're going through the divorce. And the kids basically say that they don't want to see their mom with nobody else. They don't want the divorce, which is normal. No kid wants their parents to divorce. But, I don't like that she had them on camera and was asking them questions for profitable gain. I don't like that. Like, you could have left your kids off camera for that, Flo. Anywho, so we see Gael come over because I guess she invited Gael, who's her sister, who slept with her husband and had a best friend who also slept with her husband and fucked her over. So she went to get a Haitian curse put on her sister, a mambo, they called it. And since that curse has been put over her sister's business has burned down, her house has gone down, her son has gone back to jail. It doesn't even sound real when I explain it, y'all. But
I was just gonna say, I don't bit more believe.
It sounds so fake, but this really happened on VH1.
It probably was bound to happen. Like, let me explain something. When I say bound to happen, I'm not saying like she deserved it anyway, because nobody deserves anything of their businesses being shattered, home being burnt down, son going off to jail. Nobody deserves that in life. I'm just gonna put that out there. But here's the thing. There is a such thing as karma. I am an energy kinetic person. I understand exactly how that stuff works. What you put out in this world, you definitely do get back. There is no way in hell that you think that you can sleep with your sister's husband and shit won't catch up to you. I'm sorry. There is absolutely no way you can get your best friend to sleep with your sister's husband and I think some shit ain't gonna happen to you. There's absolutely no way if your son has went to jail one time and you didn't get your shit corrected or tell him to go to therapy or get his life together, that he was not bound to go back.
Listen,
There
this
is,
family is toxic.
it
And
is
it has nothing to do with their culture. They
nothing.
themselves are toxic. Flo's conversation with Gael, in my opinion, listen, my sister and me aren't like horribly close anymore. We kind of grew out of that once we got older. But like, I know for a fact, Naima would never sleep with my husband. And I think that if you can't count on nobody in the world, you can't even really, trust your spouses when you think about that. If you can count on somebody you should be able to trust to not do something with your spouse, it should be your fucking sibling. But I guess they cannot trust it. They talk about the issue. Gael is not taking accountability. She does eventually say sorry, but she was not taking accountability. She says that it's Flo's fault. Flo put a curse. And Flo said just what James said. No, Gael, is karma. And basically, it was weird because they made peace, I think. And then Gael.
It was weird. But the thing about it is, I don't know if that was peace or I don't know if they just kind of put it on pause for mama's sake.
See, that's
That's
how
what it was given.
dysfunctional it is. We
That's
don't even
that's
know.
what it was given because it was like we don't know because it was like it was like they made peace, but then it was like, did y'all really make peace? Because it just seemed like y'all said whatever y'all had to because it's and this is another thing I like about Gaia because you brought up something about how she didn't take accountability. It was almost like she wanted to say, Barlin tricked me into it and I did it. That it almost made me see like the energy that she was giving in that conversation. That's what I was reading off of her. But she didn't want to say that because then it would make her look like she was simple-minded. That your sister's husband can manipulate you into having sex with.
She is simple-minded. She slept with her
But see,
sister.
I don't. Yeah, no, I wouldn't call that something. That was just plain on ignorant. Because there's no way in hell that you really thought in your mind, I'm gonna sleep with my sister's husband. And to me, that just goes on to show that you really do have jealousy against her if you were really to go that low.
I'm tired of seeing them because I can't
Me too, because it doesn't make sense.
if this is real or not. Because in my mind, I'm like, there's no way.
I told you this shit. I told you any with Flo and Marlon, any bullshit. I don't believe they. I don't believe they get no divorce. I don't believe she in a relationship with that woman. I don't
think they're getting a divorce. And the reason it's good, I'm glad you brought that up because the next thing we see in this scene with Gael and Flo is Gael warning Flo about Claudia, who's her new girlfriend, which I didn't trust. And it all seems like that. I'm going to say this on here and we will go back and see on the finale, y'all. I will screen share. We will look at this and we'll see. But I feel like what's going to happen is Gael and Flo are going to get cool. And then Gael warning her of Claudia. It's going to be nothing at first, but then it's going to be something with Flo. She's going to decide to look into it. And then it's going to be a demise of Flo and Claudia, and Gael and Flo will magically be sisters who can trust each other again. I just feel like they setting us up for some bullshit. But that's all we got from that scene. I think James hit the nail on the head. Like, it doesn't seem real, but then at the same time, if it is real, they both seem simple-minded. So it's
because it's crazy that this will be even a situation in life. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. So the next scene we get, and we're almost done with this recap, this is going to be a quick one, is Princess Love. She has a ladies' poker night. Apologies, I am looking at my notes, y'all. I watched this a few days ago, so leave me alone. Got to look at my notes to remember. So basically at the poker night, we see Von Shay, who's Gunplay's wife, come in. We haven't seen her in a few episodes. She comes in. She's saying in her confessional she's overwhelmed. She is about to graduate and get her PhD. She's doing her dissertation. I'm going to just tell y'all to Google a dissertation. That shit is a lot of work, okay? She's doing her dissertation. She has a sick baby. Azana? I don't want to mess up their daughter's name. But basically, she says that she has no help from Gunplay. She is married, and she has no help with her baby, who has medical issues. And then she says she's pissed with Amara La Negra for disappearing on her. So Amara and Von Shay were close friends off camera, but Amara has spoken about this in multiple episodes. She says, I decided to distance myself from them because I saw the GoFundMe issue headed in the wrong direction. And in my opinion, Amara was smart for that. Listen, that's why I call bullshit with Safaree. She know being with Safaree and bring her press is going to help her career. But you don't want to be affiliated with the GoFundMe for your kid's sick child. And then I think also Von Shay and Gunplay have all these friends with money. Maybe like people like Amara Nonega can't afford to like pay your medical bills for the year. She makes good money, but she may not. Medical bills is expensive, y'all. Okay. But he's friends with Rick Ross. Her parents have money. Her parents have money. And then she's got all of these friends who are celebrities. And I'm wondering why she needed a GoFundMe when she could have called. It's like what Kenya Moore said on Housewives of Atlanta. We got about 10,000 at this table alone. She could have called a handful of friends and probably paid for her child's medical bills and the things that she needs. But whatever, she didn't do that. So I do understand Amara wanting to distance herself from that. But I think she could distance herself publicly and still support her friend privately, if possible.
I was just about to say that. I'm glad you touched on that because I kind of felt differently until you said that, because I was like, I don't know if I could distance myself from my friend who is going through something so like difficult,
significant,
knowing that I had children myself. Like to me, because if I'm in the mind of Amara, like if I'm having children, understand she's a newborn, I'm looking at my 2 twin babies, imagining one of them having that condition, she probably needs the friend right now and not the judgment or not the criticism from me right now. I think she needs the friend right now because we don't, at that time, now we know the bullshit, but at that time, we didn't know what that would have entailed to GoFundMe and anything, because it could have been some shit where maybe her parents were only going to pay her medical bills and not the baby's medical bills, or maybe vice versa. Maybe they're paying the baby's medical bills, not hers, and maybe that was kind of, you just never, I just think that was too early to predetermine the GoFundMe being bullshit. But at the same time, if it were you,
I feel like Amara probably had a conversation with her, like, well, what can you need? I can do this. And Shay, because Amara and Shay, I feel like they could have.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Let me explain something why. Because Amara is only for self. I don't believe that. Amara's only for self unless she has a man. So I cannot agree with that. And then another thing, Shay will put that shit all up and through the whole, because she can't keep a secret. So that's why I'm saying I just don't really trust that. I think that they had a preconceived notion of Gunplay and they're holding her hostage into that same unit. And that's not fair. That isn't fair, especially if you knew her and that was your friend and you know the kind of person she is. Unless you know something we don't.
If your friends aren't doing something that's like demonstrating that they have a hate towards you for something you can't control, like race or something, or they're not, trashing like communities or, just
I just felt like that situation was
you can still be there for your friends. And since season 1, Amara has had the same issue with people and she plays victim. I feel like Amara knows what she's doing when she presents herself. She wants to look innocent. She wants to look sweet, but nah, she definitely could have been better to Von Shay. If you want to distance yourself from that GoFundMe thing, all you had to do was say to your friend, listen, for my own image, I have to protect, but I want to be supportive of you. And so, I'm going to support you off camera and stuff. But if there's cameras and media around, I'm going to have to go the other way. That's all you say.
That's all you have to do. Yeah, you don't have to. That's what I said. I felt like she turned on her way too quick when it came to that situation. Today, we understand she's well within her right. So if she were to make this decision today, we in September, but fine. But we're talking about, this was a few months ago. You couldn't have known what you knew today. You couldn't have known that thing.
Yeah. Amara.
So
either way, it's all about friends, y'all. Support your friends.
It's not about her. Like, I just could not get with. And as I said, this situation was isolated. It wasn't like she just married to him and he started to GoFundMe and this is what it was. This included a baby, and at the same time, and you know the condition of this baby. So I can't really, like I said, I can't really, no, I can't agree to Amara distancing herself not this soon. Now, as time goes on, fine. But right now, especially when she may need you, even and not to mention she's going through it with her parents because I'm sure this was a, as I said from the first time we were introduced to her, I said this was a rebel situation. She wanted to rebel against her parents, and that's what she did and married this man. Because there's no way you're telling me that she met this man and thought, oh my god, he's the one. No, this was this is a rebel move. I know what this is. I'm looking at it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm gonna just agree with James because I was taught if I don't have nothing nice to say. So y'all know the rest. So Vanshay, I'm glad everyone got background and opinions. I always feel like James's opinions are like insightfully full of wisdom, so I always appreciate them. Anywho, so Sukihana comes in to the event. I was surprised. Now that felt like production was like, y'all all need to come together because Sukihana don't really mess with these girls like that to be at the event. But she comes into the event. Eliza Brain also comes into the event, and basically Vanshay decided to get hypey, y'all. She went the fuck off. She she goes off on Amada about their friendship, brings it up in front of all those people, gets up, throws something at her. I felt like it was misdirected anger. I felt like her frustration with media, her frustration with her little situation in her life and her kid and having homework. I feel like she took that out on Amada. Now, yes, I understand you're upset that your friend ain't been there for you, but in that moment, it's like she didn't even really attempt to talk or reason. She just went crazy. So Amarta then cries about being a single mom again and like through the situation while being pulled to the side. And I'm like, what does that have to do with this? It doesn't have anything.
It did. She was deflecting. And let me explain something to Amara. Because, bam, you had an out. You had an out. It was an unfortunate out, but you had one. You knew that man wasn't shit when you got with him. And you have a pattern with this. So in the moment, you have two beautiful babies. Those are two beautiful blessings. Take it and stride with it, because if you do the work on yourself, you will then pick better, because when you know better, you do better. And I'm tired of hearing her always crying and playing this victim and playing this as if it's a fucking fiddle. We do not care. And I'm just going to say it like that. We do not care anymore. Because at the end of the day, I know I'm going to get hell from this from women, but I do not care. If you don't require a man to protect himself, who is the only one in the equation that can end up pregnant?
That's true.
So I am like, and when those men can remove themselves out of the situation, who can't remove themselves from being that child's mother?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry, you thought I don't know what you thought you was getting at that man, but you got two babies out of it. So leave it alone, do the work, go to therapy, and you need therapy 3 days a week.
Man.
You need therapy 3 days a week.
And a life coach.
And you know what? And tell your therapist the fucking truth. I'm tired of y'all going to therapists
and lying.
Therapy and
You're
lying, or giving
help you,
or you give them surface ass shit instead of telling them what's in your fucking heart. I'm tired of y'all doing that. That shit is annoying as hell. When therapists is actually, they're making money off y'all asses. Y'all are stupid. Tell them what the fuck it is.
Please. Because when I get to practice therapy, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be practicing as a licensed therapist in about a year. I'm going to tell y'all this right now. Anybody I see, I'll be telling them, now, listen, I like to get paid. I'll take this $75 an hour, but what's up? Like, are you going to communicate? Like, come on. But I agree with what you're saying about Amada. That's pretty much all that happened with that scene. She cries, she goes off. We'll see more with what happened with them probably next week. But I felt like Vanshay is younger, too, than a lot of the women on this cast. So it definitely shows Amada's immaturity to even be doing all of that and acting this way towards someone so young.
Yes, and exactly. And to me, it just seemed like it was for Vanshay. This was a cry for help. especially if she would normally not react that way, because it doesn't seem like this was something she would normally do. This was a buildup of aggression on her, and she didn't. That's another thing y'all women got to stop doing. Cry that shit out. If you feel it in a moment, cry it out. Even if your man don't even understand it, cry and sit in the corner, because then he would have to respond on what he did versus if he the right kind of one. And that's how you know what you got.
This is true. He's just dropping knowledge today, dropping dimes. So the next thing we get is Eliza Reign. She meets with her oldest daughter. We find out that her oldest daughter has a boyfriend. Eliza had to put the oldest daughter out of the house. This is why Miami Tip should not speak on everybody's situation, relationships. You just shouldn't do that. Speak about people's kids and stuff. But Eliza, basically, we found out her daughter's boyfriend was stealing catalytic converters. I know that those are not on cars in every state, but I know in California and apparently Florida, that catalytic converters are a thing. They are required in California. I used to sell cars and we had to have them installed when we got cars from other states. It was ridiculous, but they're required. And people here in the Bay Area, they bipping and stealing catalytic converters like crazy, especially off of them 2016 Priuses. I don't know why. I know that they're worth thousands of dollars, but it sounds like Eliza's daughter got a dude that was, with the shits. He was doing what he does. So Eliza doesn't like that. They talk. Her daughter expresses that her mom's hard to talk to because she wasn't there so much, because she was always going out, clubbing, all of that stuff. So, it was nice to see Eliza apologize to her daughter, and I hope that their relationship improves. I'm gonna move on just because when there's kids involved, I'm not doing that, y'all. She's a child. Anywho, Zoe Brinks, the hot mess express of the last scene of the episode that this was. She goes and she meets with Super Cindy, and she says Zoe is very, very immature, mentally, emotionally, all of that. And this is why I say that. She says to Super Cindy that she does not think that her behavior means that she cannot work with Trina. As she's saying this, Zoe explains what happened at the situation, and Cindy sits there listening, as she should. That's how conversation works. One person speaks, you're quiet, you listen, then you respond, and they're quiet. That's how it's supposed to go, people. Zoe does not have a clear understanding of this. She basically painted herself as the victim, and she kept calling Joy a purse holder. Now, a piece of it is funny because she's really saying it like, you can't expect them to want to work with you when you're being immature and referring to Trina's blood cousin as her purse holder. She said Joy's famous for no reason. That's just one of her purse holders. Joy does hair. She had a hair company and a whole thing. But she wanted to continue to call her this. Cindy then explains to her that she's not going to be able to be on the album. She's like, it's not looking like it's going to be able to happen, because Trina said, as of right now. She did not say forever. She said, but as of right now, I can't work with her, which makes sense. It's too soon. Zoe snaps. She becomes unhinged, in my opinion. She did the exact same thing that she did to Trina. And her mom and family. It seems like she gets mad when she doesn't hear what she wants to hear or is unable to get her way. She starts crying and she shuts down. And somewhere in those tears comes out a bunch of anger, and then her insecurities end up getting taken out on the rest of us. That's how I felt watching Zoe Brinks. She's in a lot of pain, in my most personal opinion. She's running out. Super Cindy goes to try and talk to her and explain things, and she doesn't get it. Then she's walking through when I'm bigger than Trina, y'all keep that same energy. I'm like, honey, where's your humility? I'm not even going to get into it like that. The girl she needs to humble herself. She's emotionally immature. She may be talented, but a bad attitude in Hollywood as a plus-sized woman, hell, Lizzo's made it and she still has people talking shit. So how hard you think it's going to be for you? That's all I'm saying. I don't think she's ready to be on TV or in the industry, but we will see what happens with Zoe Brinks. And, you know, that's all I have. James, you want to give any opinions?
Absolutely not, because I have nothing nice to say about that scene. I'm just not going to even go there because I ripped that girl a whole new asshole. I don't feel like doing it a second time. So
Listen,
yeah, because that was probably the most ignorant scene of
it
Love and
was
Hip
hard to
Hop.
watch. It
It
showed the
was like
example of someone being in their own way. She is in her own
it
way.
really does, and that's a good point to make. She is
Yeah.
in her own way, and she's going to learn it the hard way.
Yeah. Some
So,
people,
and the thing about it is, there's people who unfortunately would kill for an opportunity to be on Love and Hip Hop. You have
yeah,
the opportunity, and here you is showing your ass.
yeah, all
Like
of
it just realistically, we want you to win, and hear me good. I want you to win. I don't even know you. I don't know your music, Zoe. But what I'm gonna say about this is you need to soften up just a little bit, and you need to be more receptive to what people are saying because everybody cannot be wrong when they're all
she
saying the exact same
also
thing.
she has to humble herself because she kept
Yes,
saying, y'all just doing this 'cause Trina's famous. She's getting first choice. Yes, that's how
because
it
she's
works.
earned it. That's how it works.
She
Yeah, when she
earned
said
it.
that, I
You
was
don't just
like,
come in
so what
getting
do you
these
think?
things, even when you act up. When a child steals a piece of candy and their parent finds out, they make them put it back, they make them say sorry, and they tell them that they were
Not my mom.
wrong.
Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute, not my mom. I got my ass whipped first, and then I had to go put it back, and then yeah,
Well, obviously, I'm
yeah,
sure most
yeah.
of us with skin that looks like me or James, listen, we believe in whipping our children. So, hey, it is what it is. But most parents are going to correct that wrong. Like Zoe does not understand that. And
It
I
just
get that.
makes me wonder, like I said in earlier in this live, it makes me wonder that true dynamic of that family because something ain't right.
Yeah, there's obviously
Something,
something that happened with
something,
the
yeah, ain't
family.
right. Something ain't right. But I can't put my finger on it. Maybe if they show later on the dynamic again, maybe I'll be able to pinpoint what I'm looking at because something just ain't right. And it literally because I don't want to say it seemed like she was the one that got ignored because it doesn't give that. If anything, she was probably the one that got catered to the most because she's
I
acting
think that she was a
spoiled.
little spoiled.
Yeah,
It
it's given
sounds like
spoiled.
her sisters went to school. I know a lot of foreign households, especially Black foreigners, African, Haitian, whatever the hell. I know this from my own family. Like I was told, and even now, if I were to not be with my husband and self-sufficient in our own apartment, if I want to go home or go live with my grandma or my dad, I have to be working full time or in school. You can't just be in their house. And it needs to be something that's going to bring a guaranteed paycheck bi-weekly or weekly and or monthly. And it needs to be livable because they don't want me to just be fucked. Like that's how my family was. And when I was a teenager, it was get good grades. You can't do nothing. The only way I can hang out with my friends, I had to have a 4.5 GPA. So some people are that way. A lot of people who are foreign come from immigrant families are that way. I feel like Zoe probably had that and didn't want to comply, and that's where the problem came. She definitely gives ungrateful and entitled, but that is all for the Love and Hip Hop Miami recap. We're going to head over immediately to my channel. The other live that's set up for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. We're going to go over the finale episode. I will not be discussing the racial conversation that they wanted us to go online to watch, but we will go over our opinions on the season and all of that. So I appreciate everybody for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to James' channel. And if you don't subscribe to either of our channels, I hope you like the video and enjoy your evening. Adios.